Welcome, welcome, welcome everyone to another episode of the Black Beauty Activist Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Tameka Ellington. For those of you that don't know me, I am an educator, an empowerment speaker, an author, and a lover of all things Black culture. And in today's episode, we will be discussing the connection between peace of mind and music. One of the most terrifying things that I remember as myself as an artist was putting myself out there for other people to see. It was really difficult for me because of the fact that I had so much fear of being negatively critiqued, of not being enough. That stagnating fear for just the first 2 years of my career as a professional in the academia world, professor of fashion, I was too afraid to put myself out there, and being too afraid and not at peace with myself and the gifts that God gave me. So I hid those gifts for about 2 years. I hid them away until a good friend of mine and a mentor of mine named Vincent Quevedo encouraged me to blossom. He encouraged me to create my first wearable piece of artwork that ended up getting accepted into an exhibition in Honolulu, Hawaii. And for that, I owe him quite a bit. Fear will disrupt so much of our lives, our creativity, our relationships. It'll disrupt our money, and most importantly, our overall peace. My next guest is a songwriter and vocalist who has dared to put her music out there in the movement of peace, love, and life. She reminds me so much of one of my favorite artists. I'm sure she's probably heard this before, but she is very similar in style to Corinne Bailey Rae, who was one of my very favorite artists in the early 2000s. And if you love Corinne Bailey Rae, you will love the artistry of my next guest. And so I'm going to go ahead and unmute her microphone so that we can bring her in. Hi, Dara. How are you?
Hi, it's Dara.
Dara, thank you. You know what? I have another friend. Her name is Dara, and she's also an artist. So I apologize. I'm going to make sure that I get that right. Dara.
Yes,
Dara.
yes.
Dara. Thank you.
Thank you.
You. Welcome.
Hi.
Yeah, hi. This has been an interesting week. I was telling you. This week has been a week of me being a triumph over COVID. I was just telling Dara that on Friday I was diagnosed with COVID, and I've been dealing with it for the past couple of days. Today is the very first day that I'm feeling better and feeling myself. And so I am here today, and I'm so excited because Dara and I have been trying to get this orchestrated for the past couple of months now. I reached out to her several months ago about wanting to have her on my podcast because of all the beautiful things that she was doing. One of my good friends had brought her up to me when I think you were at a conference that was being thrown by Miss Wahid, I think her name is. Yeah, in Atlanta. Yeah, natural hair conference. Yes. And so a friend of mine who you also mutually know, Adam, he was like, you need to talk to Dara. You need to talk to Dara. You need to talk to her, have her on your podcast. And I was like, absolutely. As soon as I found out what you were doing and I heard some of your music, I was like, I gotta have her on. So thank you so much.
Truly honored to be here in the present
Absolutely. And so you and I met briefly when you were a musical theater student, right?
Yeah, I was a theater performance major.
Yes. Yeah. And you graduated. When did you graduate?
2018.
Wow. And you've been on your musical journey ever since.
Even before college, I've kind of, I started when I was a little girl, 5 years old. And from there, my parents, they just poured into me. And it's the reason why that I'm able to be in this present moment right now is truly because of, them and the Lord and everything. So
Wow.
yeah,
That's
it's been a long
beautiful.
journey before
That's
social media.
beautiful. That's beautiful. Wow. Well, I'm honored. And so I'm going to read your bio. So Dara is a Bentley Records recording artist. Dara Sherman is a highly respected vocalist, songwriter, producer, and multi-talented entertainer. Dara has been joyfully enriching audiences with her expressively rich voice since she was a very young child. She is hailing from Akron, Ohio, with a voice that has brought together a diverse group of individuals worldwide in the essence of peace, authenticity, love, healing, and positivity. She has performed with the likes of acclaimed author, speaker, life coach, and Oprah Winfrey Super Soul Sunday special guest Tim uh, Tim Story, and five-time Grammy nominated CMA winner Hunter Hayes, as well as American Christian pop musician Joanne Beasley. In 2023, Dara has been featured on the chart-topping celebrity compilation album featuring Future, Bow Wow, The Game, and a host of other world-renowned diverse talent. Dara's trailblazing hit single "Rock My Crown" reached the top 2 R&B spot on the iTunes chart in Canada this past February.
Yep.
Her latest album, 93, A Tale of a Blooming Caterpillar, was just released in September of 2023 and continues to receive rave reviews worldwide. Dara's hit song "Rock My Crown" made its crossover debut on every international streaming platform playlist this December. Dang.
It just did.
Oh,
I didn't announce that yet, but it just did. Yay.
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
That is awesome. That is so awesome. Man, we are so proud of you. You are an exemplary example
Thank you so
of
much.
someone coming from Akron, Ohio, coming from Kinston University as a golden flasher and out here doing your thing and doing an amazing job while doing it. So I'm so proud. And I know so many people at Kent State are also so proud of you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
The journey.
Absolutely.
Not done yet.
Yeah, hey, you just got started.
Really?
You just got started.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So please tell us a little bit about yourself. You mentioned your parents and how they poured into you.
Oh,
And
yeah.
yeah, which is wonderful, wonderful. So tell us a little bit about how you grew up, where you grew up, and what got you interested in music.
Okay, so I grew up in Akron, Ohio, and I really did like I've grown up in a music household. There was always music playing, Tony Braxton. My mom would always play Tony Braxton. She's the biggest fan. And there was always a diversity with, music that was played. And, from there, it just happened. Like, I will never forget this day when I was 5 years old. I was sitting on the couch. And me and my mom were listening to gospel music. Yolanda Adams, that name. And then I opened up Yolanda Adams' pamphlet of all the lyrics. I was just looking at it. Next thing you know, I just started singing, And then my mom turned the music down and she's like, hold on, do it again. So I sang it again. And then from there, it just talent shows, singing for patients at a hospital, singing for family members. And then I started songwriting as well. People don't know this, but I actually started out with poetry,
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, that's all that songs are, is poetry.
Yeah.
For sure. Absolutely.
And what's really great in regards to that is that I still remember when my father, he stated, like, Dara, you wrote this poem? I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, if you can write a poem, you can write a song. Yeah. And he challenged me to write a song every single day. So every single day I was writing. And I still am, And luckily enough, it just coincided together. And another person who really, really was extremely influential would have to be my godmother. who Josie Owen, she actually was my nurse, my NICU nurse, when I was super duper sick in the hospital as a 1 pound, 14 ounce baby. And she really, really introduced me to the arts and everything with theater and going to E.J. Thomas Hall. And,
Wow.
she showed me who I can become. And then my grandmother as well, she, with the church and everything, like she just, really instilled in me that, foundation with God and everything. So along with my parents as well. So overall, I grew up in Akron and I just sung. I just always kept singing. I literally would teachers would pull me out of classes when I was in kindergarten and the younger stages for me to sing for them.
Yeah.
And it's just okay. But overall, I just never stopped, even along the journey when, I was sick and there was just a lot going on, I kept going. I was writing songs in the hospital bed. I just kept going. And I still do to this day. So it's really easy for me now to do it. It just comes natural at the end of the day. So yeah.
That's wonderful. Wow. So music, it's interesting how when we really find our passion, how it takes us through so many things. It takes us through sickness. It takes us through heartache. It takes us through depression.
Yeah.
My background, like I said, is in fashion and art. I do painting. I write love to write books and things like that. And so, those things as an artist, when you get a chance to really get into it and get into the flow of it, it can totally change your mood, change your life, everything. And so you being able to use music as a way to heal yourself.
Yeah.
And you talk a lot about that in your music.
Oh, yeah.
In your bio, you were talking about how important it is to use music as a way to heal yourself. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So being an artist is very risky, I'm sure, but the great thing that I'm hearing is that you have a beautiful group of people surrounding and supporting you. But how did you get the courage to put yourself out there, to start your music, to start your music industry business? And, how did you get to the point where you said, you know what, this is a love of mine. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. And I'm going to put myself out there. How did you get that courage?
Okay. Again, it would have to be the early foundations. I've always known what I was called to do.
Yeah.
And there was a point, though, where, as an artist, you deal with the spirit of comparison and you think that you have to be a certain way, you have to be a certain way in order to receive some type of acceptance.
Yeah.
And God was like, no, I created you this way. There was a point in my journey where God was like, hey, you can't be in a box, the amount of songs that I was writing in a day, it just had got to that point where it's okay, I'm reaching people and I'm just all right, I can't be put into a box with my music at all. And the most important thing is you have to know yourself. When you know you have to know yourself and you have to know God. When you know God, you know yourself. You know? And when you know yourself, you can't be easily tempted. When
I love that. Can you say that one more time?
Yes. When you know yourself, you cannot be easily tempted. You cannot easily be persuaded to, do something that is not of you, to do something that is not of, your values and your morals,
I love that.
I think it's just, very important to always, remain in who you are. You don't have to copy someone. You don't have to copy somebody's style. You're already enough the way that you are, the way that God created you to be, So, yeah.
Absolutely.
And what is for you is for you.
Absolutely.
What God is for you is for you.
Absolutely. Nobody can take it.
Nobody.
And on my website, I have, so you may not know, Dara, but I no longer work for the university. I left the university about 2 years ago. And so I'm actually now a full-time entrepreneur. I do motivational speaking, diversity training, leadership training, confidence coaching for young girls. And on my website, I have on there 3 phrases: be confident, be authentic, be beautiful.
Yeah.
It sounds like that's exactly what you're doing.
Thank
You're beautiful,
Thank you.
confident, and authentic.
You are as well.
Authentically you. Absolutely.
Thank
Yes. Yes.
you.
And so I know that you were saying that you write a lot. So where do you get your inspiration for your writing?
Okay, so my process, it just happens. It's, my inspiration is life, life experiences,
Yeah.
people that I've been able to be around, stories that I've heard, movies that I've watched, I could literally hear a beat. I don't even have to, it has gotten to the point where I don't even have to listen to the full beat. I can listen to like a minute of it and I already have the full song, and it just comes out. I would say that it really is a God-given gift to where that's why I kind of call my alter ego Baby D, because wait, did I just sing that? Did I just say that? Because I'm very peaceful, but when I'm in the studio, when I'm writing, or if I have an idea, song idea, it just comes out so fast and I can't control it. It's like, okay, all right, but then I go back and listen. I'm like, oh, okay, I did just write that. All right, okay.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I call that being in the flow.
Oh yeah.
Being in the flow. When you're an artist and you're in the flow, man, there is nothing that can stop that creativity from coming out.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Wow. And so my absolute favorite song of yours is Moment, which you are going to graciously sing for us today. But I wanted to know, how did that song come to be?
Okay, so Moment came to be when I recognized, and when God sat me down, that I was in a state of overgiving. I was in a state of overgiving, and I was in a state of under receiving. And I recognized that when people would say, "Oh, I love your energy, I love your energy," I didn't realize how unhealthy that was, because I realized I was just overgiving. Oh, I'll encourage you. Oh, here you go. Oh, you need prayer. Oh, this. Oh. But then at the end of the day, when I sit down in my home, no one. It's just me who's pouring into me. I was depriving myself of, pouring into myself as well. I was forgetting about myself. So I said, hold on, I need a moment for myself. I've been giving everybody the tea that was in my cup. If I go away, it doesn't mean that I'm ignoring you. I just need a moment for myself, That's about, I lacked boundaries during a chapter of my life. And I'm so grateful for my village and, especially my sister, for just encouraging me and hey, it's okay to have boundaries. It's okay to say no. It's okay to pour into yourself. You don't have to be on all the time. You know what I mean? So that was what that was about. I need a moment. It's okay to pour into yourself. It's okay to take care of you at the end of the day, because if you don't take care of you, how can you do your best work?
Yeah.
I know for a fact, if I don't take care of myself, I'll be a hot mess. There will be no song singing. There will be no songwriting, You know what I mean? I'm not able to do what God has called me to do fully at 110%.
What's beautiful about what you just said is it also sounds to me like not only have you set up boundaries, but you've also been very unapologetic about it. It's one thing to have boundaries and then to apologize to folks for having your boundaries, right?
Yeah.
But to be someone who has boundaries and you are unapologetic about your boundaries, because as you said, you come first, and that is not a selfish thing. As people of God, as Christians, many times we are taught to continue to pour into people. Okay. We are taught that others come before we do,
Uh-huh.
when that is
Yeah.
absolutely not the case.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely not the case. And when you get to a point in your life where you can set those boundaries and be unapologetic about it, I
Mhm.
think that's the majority of the battle right there.
Yeah. You can't pour when you're broken.
Ooh,
You can't pour when you're broken, you
yeah,
know? You
yeah.
have to I stopped saying, "Oh, I'm good." You know, when people ask, "Oh, how are you doing?" What's the first thing you say? "Oh, I'm doing good." But deep down, how are you really doing?
Mm,
You know? You gotta
yeah,
get real with yourself. I need a
yeah,
moment for myself, and that moment for myself, it expanded years of healing and really sitting with myself and detaching the roots and just really getting into alignment because God said, "Hey, you don't know what I'm preparing you for, but
yeah,
I need you to get prepared."
yeah.
When you say no, you're gonna lose people. But those
Hey,
people are not supposed to be on your journey. You know,
hey,
everybody can't go with you. You
hey.
know? What's for is
I
for.
I I know that firsthand, and it's a blessing and a curse, I think, in
Mhm.
both ways, because oftentimes you lose folks who you really care about.
Yep.
But the blessing is that you have the strength to just keep
Yes.
going regardless. And God will, the beautiful thing about God is that He's going to continue to put new people in your life who
Yeah.
will be able to take the place of those that you had to kind of
Mhm.
let go of.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, I think sometimes we can become fixated on looking back,
Yeah.
but we don't want to be like standing there and become a pillar of salt. When you look back,
Mm,
it's going to be
mm,
like a pillar of salt. That means, you're going to be stagnant with your mindset, your heart, and your spirit because you keep looking
yeah.
back. God said, "Hey,
Yeah.
it's time for you to move forward now." Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Mm,
yes.
wow. So you brand yourself as someone who is an artist that exudes peace, authenticity, love, healing, and positivity.
Yes.
And you display that in your music. So
Mhm.
w- when you are in the process of doing that and you're writing about it, are you also thinking about how to go about protecting your peace? And so part of what we were just talking about just a moment ago is part of that protecting your peace. But how do you go about protecting your peace, Dara?
It's there.
Dara, sorry, I apologize.
It's okay. How
I'm
do I
sure
go?
you probably get that a lot. Do you get that a lot?
Every day. Every
Do
day.
you?
Every day.
I apologize.
Okay.
My girlfriend Dara, actually, it's funny. She's also, like I said, she's also an artist. I
Mhm.
just bought my first piece of artwork and I bought it from my friend Dara,
Oh, wow.
my
That's
very first piece of artwork. So I apologize.
okay.
Dara,
Yes. Dara.
Dara.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my word. Oh my goodness. I should have put some like pronunciation things in here so that I can make sure I get it right. I apologize, sweetheart.
It's okay. You're okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so the question was in regards to how do I protect my peace?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, for one, you have to be aware of what are your boundaries?
Yeah.
What is peace to you? How do you define
Yeah.
peace? How do you
Mhm.
define joy?
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
do you define happiness? How do you define success? Because how I define it is way different compared to how so many people define it. So how I do it is I have it to where, like when I wake up every morning, when God wakes me up, I look outside, I'm like, okay. And I hear a bird chirp, that's peace to me. That's joy to me. That's success to me. That's abundance to me. That's
Mm.
like when you wake up, that's the most abundant thing you could ever have because you
Mhm.
get that opportunity. You know. Another way as well is I do pray. I pray a virtual church. I songwrite, meditate. I do yoga. I work out 5 days a week.
Mhm.
I make sure I'm getting enough rest. I make sure I am eating the proper foods, drinking enough water. I'm making sure I'm doing my check-ins with my family. It's just really about At the end of the day, defining your peace. Like, what does it look like to you?
Yeah.
And once you define it, you're no longer allowing anything or anybody to deter it. You know, you're no longer allowing it. You know, because at the end of the day, it's your mindset. You know,
Yeah.
what are you speaking to yourself? That's another big one. I speak over myself. You know,
Yeah. Affirmations.
yes, I speak things of peace, love, light, and positivity
Yeah.
over myself. But I'm also very honest with my emotions and my feelings as well. I'm not going to just be like, oh, I'm so great, da da da. But deep down, I'm like, oh, I'm really tired and I need a nap. You know, I'm very in tune. And that's how I protect my peace. I don't entertain I would say low vibrational things
Yeah.
and activities. I don't,
Absolutely.
there's no need, because look, when you're entertaining, low vibrational things, you're going to end up stagnating yourself. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you
Absolutely.
don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you are surrounding yourself with people who are going to be on one accord with you, and not people who are going to be like, oh, you're doing too much, or oh, or oh my God, you think you better.
Oh my goodness.
Goodness, you understand what I'm saying? Like, just because the Lord has you on this path, on this season of your journey, like, you want to really just make sure that you are committed and serious about your boundaries and serious about the calling that's put over your life at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, it's not going to go anywhere. There's going to come a point in your life where God's going to force you to be like, hey, I told you to do this. Because that's what happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
So attached to fear. I was like, oh, no, but I'm not like this, or my body don't look like this. You know what I mean? Just keeping it real with you. So, it's very important to just, maintain your boundaries, know who you are, stop accepting breadcrumbs from people, don't overgive.
I love that.
Don't overgive. You got to pour yourself into your cup. What that means, I do an early morning check-in. How am I doing mentally? How am I doing physically? How am I doing financially? How am I doing spiritually? Do I need to pray a little bit more? Do I need to journal a little bit more? You know, it's all about balance at the end.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You know what? Let me just say this, and I hope you don't take offense to this, but as a young person, and I can say that because I'm sure I'm twice your age, but as a young person, I think it's beautiful that you have already established this for yourself. When I was your age, the level of self-awareness that you have, I did not have that level of self-awareness. I didn't start developing that level of self-awareness until I was well into my 30s. And so it makes me so happy to hear someone like yourself talk the way that you're talking, because so many people that are in your age group don't talk the way that you talk. And so it's a beautiful, beautiful thing, because for those individuals who want to be a part of your life can learn a lot from you.
Thank you so much.
They can. Instead of them, because like what you were just talking about, having people tell you, oh, you think you're better, X, Y, and Z, and all these things. I've experienced it as well. I've experienced it as well. But the individuals who are self-aware enough to know that this particular woman has something to offer, and that's something that I can learn from. So those individuals that are willing to be in your life and to learn from what you're talking about will be more self-aware themselves. I think it's such a beautiful thing that you are. I mean, it's only going to heighten, it's going to continue to heighten what you're doing in your career, because having that self-awareness and that focus is going to only exude excellence out of you all the time.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're absolutely welcome. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And another thing that I do as well, another activity that I do, I do, like, when there was a time where people, oh, you think you're better. I kept hearing that a lot, repetitively. So I wrote down, it was like God revealed to me. He said, write down you think you better on a piece of paper, but I
Mm.
want you to write down everything that I brought you through. So that's what I did. And then my response to that, whenever someone says, now, oh, you think you're better, oh, that negative energy, I say, actually, yes, I do. Because do you know what God brought me through? I think I'm better than when I was, when I, passed out multiple times, when I lost more than half the blood in my body, more than 2 times, when I had to relearn how to breathe. You understand what I'm saying? Like, yes, you should be happy that I'm healthy now and that I'm better. So, and then they're left like, oh my gosh, they can't say nothing after that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know what God brought me through,
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow. That is so beautiful. Oh my gosh. Wow. What advice would you give to someone who is looking to uh, be a vocalist,
Mhm.
songwriter, stepping out into their own career? What piece of advice would you give someone who is looking to get the journey started?
Okay. I would say, for one, know God, know yourself.
Yeah.
Um, do not be hindered by the spirit of comparison, because that can lead to temptation.
Oh yeah.
That
Oh
can
yeah.
lead to temptation.
Oh yeah.
I would also say, always create your stage. That's something that has gotten me to this point in my journey. I always created my stage, even when I was a little girl, when I was singing and talent shows and choir and, theater and all that, I've always created my stage. Even with YouTube, I created my stage, and even when going on all these auditions and hearing no, 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 my grandmother always said, you may get a lot of no's, but you're going to get that one yes, and it's going to change your life.
Yeah.
And, the thing is that just know that the talent that God has given you is divine, and you have to take it seriously. And it cannot be, deadered or anything in that matter. And know that the talent that God has given you is your talent, and you're enough. The Bible does say you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you, and you can. But in regards to that, you just want to make sure that you're making smart goals for yourself, because even though you can do all things that strengthen you, you don't want to be sidetracked and going the wrong way.
Yeah.
And be tempted to do, oh yeah, I can do all things, so I'm going to do this. Oh yeah, I'm going to kick it and do this, blah, 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 and I'm going to sing this type of song, and blah, blah, blah. If it does not align with your spirit, why would you do that? If it don't align with your values, don't do it, And it's just, you have to understand and realize that you don't have to compromise yourself for a dream. You don't, because you're already enough. You're God's child. And what matters most is that you stay in alignment with who you are. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with your talent. As long as I have a song on my album that I released in September 93, A Tale of a Blooming Caterpillar, Trust, Apply, and Flow. As long as you trust in the Lord, you trust in yourself, you trust in your gift, you apply yourself every single day. I don't care if it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. Turn off that TV and go do it. Trust, apply, and flow. It's going to flow to you. And when it flows to you, you may be receiving an overabundance of it flowing to you because you put in that work. You trusted in the Lord, you applied yourself, and now it's going to flow to you. So that's all you have to do, really, and stay balanced.
Mhm. So this advice really can not only just be for someone who is an artist. This is advice that anyone can use. Anyone who was looking to step out and do whatever they might be doing. Maybe somebody is trying to invent a product, or maybe they might want to become a filmmaker, or whatever the case might be. Whatever your goal is, these items that Miss Sherman, how about I just do it like that? That Miss Sherman has recommended will help you. This staying balanced, knowing really what it sounds like she was saying is knowing your purpose and then going into that purpose full on, right?
Yes.
And not being afraid, not comparing yourself.
Oh yeah, don't do that.
These are all some tips that can help with whatever, any background that you're in. It can help with anything that you're doing. Absolutely. And so my last question for you is, what's next for you? I mean, you've done so, this sounds like this has been like an amazing year for you. So what are you going to do next? What's the next thing?
Okay, so what's next? Okay, so I really am. We're in the works right now with holding some auditions. Well, in the very early stages of holding some auditions for my music video, Rock My Crown, which is going to be global all around the world. BT, VH1, it's going to be everywhere. So I really want to audition some amazing dancers and artists, and I really just want to see their hard work. I want to see that passion. I just want to see your commitment. Like, I don't want someone to come to my audition and be like, oh yeah, just to be on TV. No. I need to see a resume.
Yeah.
Are you serious about this? Because this is serious. This is a big thing,
Yeah.
And we're really in the early stages of that. And then I do have a Grammy collaboration song that is coming out to be announced with Jackie's Boy. He has worked with Boyz II Men, Charlie Wilson, and some really amazing people as well. So I have that. And then what else? Just creating, working on the third and fourth and fifth album. And and really just, creating and just trusting and applying and flowing every single day and remaining balanced and just, and being in the present moment and appreciating it every single day.
I love that. I love that. How can everybody stay connected with you?
Of course. You can all follow me at Dara Sherman Music, at I don't know if I said that right, Dara Sherman Music. Feel free to follow me at Dara Sherman Music on my YouTube, my Instagram, Facebook, what else? My website.
Yeah.
And then you can also follow me on my Spotify, my Tidal, Apple Music. I am featured on over 200 plus social little music platforms all around the world, globally and internationally as well, since we just crossed over. So feel free to follow me at Dara Sherman for that. And my Instagram is Dara Sherman Music, but my my other platforms, it's just Dara Sherman. Feel free to follow me and stay up to date, because more shows and who knows, a tour. You never know.
That would be beautiful. That would be so beautiful. You would have we would, like, if you tour in the Cleveland, Akron area, we would have a whole, like, Kent State University, like, space, like, just coming to you, for sure.
I appreciate that. Oh my God,
that would be so awesome. Oh, that would be awesome. But all of her information, I will make sure that I put in the show notes once this video goes onto YouTube and is ready to get connected to Apple Music and Spotify. I'll make sure that I Apple Podcasts and Spotify, I'll make sure that I put it in the show notes for you so that you can have it. And so I just want to thank you again for taking some time out and gracing us with your presence. I am so excited to see what you're able to do later on, and to just be able to say, I knew her I remember her when she was a student at Kent State University, when she was first getting started. That's a beautiful thing. So
thank you.
Yeah. So please hold for a moment. I'm going to close out the show, and then I'll leave the floor open for you to grace us with your presence. Okay. All right. And so as we begin to transition from 2023 into 2024, I would like to invite you to remove any distractions that you have around you. Sit still and close your eyes for a moment. What we were just talking about just a few minutes ago, is a way for you to step into your peace. I want everybody to be able to step into 2024 in peace. The reason why I really wanted Dara on the show as the very last person for the season 2 to wrap up this year is because of what she stands for, because of everything that she's been doing. As she mentioned, she is an artist who exudes authenticity, peace, positivity. And I thought that it was really important for us to be able to end the year in this way. So I would love for you to just give yourself a moment to reflect on all the blessings that you've experienced in 2023, any of the hardships, memorable moments that you've had. Just give a moment. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a couple of deep breaths. Think about 2023. What were some of the wonderful things that happened? What were some of the hard things that happened? Some of those memorable moments that you've had. And now I want you to imagine what 2024 is going to look like. Our dreams and our goals start with imagination. And so I would like for you to take a moment to imagine what 2024 is going to look like for you. What are you going to be doing? What will you look like? What will you feel like? What is 2024 going to be for you? What kind of friendships and connections will you create? And as we give ourselves this moment, I would just like to thank you all for joining me this evening. Thank you for those of you that have been listening to this podcast. This is my second season, going into the third season, starting in January. And I thank you all for listening to me, being a part of this. We've had some amazing conversations this year, amazing conversations. And I look forward to what 2024 is going to do. And so I want to thank you all for listening. If you haven't already, please make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel, the Black Beauty Activist Podcast. For those of you that like to listen on Spotify and Apple, the platform is open and I'm on there as well. So please leave a comment, subscribe, and I want to now leave the floor open so that we can be graced with Dara Sherman as she graces us and closes out our 2023 with one of my favorite songs that she sings entitled Moment.
I need a moment for myself. I've been giving everybody the tea that was in my cup. I need a moment for myself. Why is it so wrong for me to want to improve myself? If I go away, it doesn't mean that I'm ignoring you. I'll be on my grind most of the time, do what I gotta do. I need a moment, give me a moment for myself. I need a moment, give me a moment. 'Cause love, that's all I do. Love, you should too. I'm pouring myself back in my cup with love. I'm pouring myself back in my cup with love. I'm pouring myself back in my cup with love. I'm pouring myself back in my cup with love. I need a moment for myself. I need a moment for myself. Give me a moment. I need a moment. Give me a moment. Thank you.
That was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Dara. Thank you.
My
Have a
pleasure.
good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. Peace and blessings.